Good morning. How are you all today? Thank you for visiting with us and welcome to Bible class with Andre and Betty. We're continuing our studies from the book of Exodus and we're in chapter 4. We'll be focusing on the subject Moses and his excuses. God is commissioning him to go to Egypt because he's in the land of Midian now, and to go to Egypt and tell Pharaoh to let his people go. But Moses comes up with excuses on why he is not able, or he does not have the ability to go and speak on behalf of the people of Israel. So he comes up with different excuses. And so in chapter 4, we read, "And Moses answered and said," but behold, God had told him what he wanted him to do. And Moses answered and said, "But behold, they will not believe me, nor hearken unto my voice. For they will say, the Lord had not appeared unto thee." He's saying the people will not believe me. And so God is going to show him that through him, the people would believe him in order to be delivered out of Egypt. And we do know that during the wilderness wanderings, over and over, they doubted God and his promises. But at this point, Moses is saying the people will not believe me. In verse 2, "And the Lord said unto him, What is that in thine hand?" And he said, "A rod." Verse 3, "And he said, the Lord said, Cast it on the ground. And he cast it on the ground, and it became a serpent. And Moses fled from before it." Verse 4, "And the Lord said unto Moses, Put forth thy hand and take it by the tail." And the serpent by the tail, and he put forth his hand and caught it, and it became a rod in his hand. God says, I'm doing this that they, the people, may believe that the Lord God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, hath appeared unto thee. Verse 6, "And the Lord said furthermore unto Moses, Put now thine hand in thy bosom. And he put his hand in his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous, or white as snow." Verse 7, "And he said, Put thine hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as the other flesh." Now, the heart speaks of who we are, and the hands speak of what we do. We appear unto people a certain way, and that's our reputation. But our character is who we are in the dark when no one is looking. And so these two signs God gave to Moses so that he could show these before the people. So verse 8 says, and it shall come to pass, if they will not believe thee, neither hearken to the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the latter sign. Verse 9. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe also these two signs, neither hearken unto thy voice, that thou shalt take of the water of the river, and pour it upon the dry ground, or the dry land, and the water which thou takest out of the river shall become blood upon the dry land. So still Moses is not sure that what God is saying to him is that he's able to carry it out. So he comes up with another excuse. Verse 10. And Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech and of a slow tongue. Now, I've been hearing all of my life that Moses stuttered when he made that statement. But Acts chapter 7, verse 22 says, and Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and was mighty in words and in deeds. So what Moses is saying, I was raised up in Egypt, and I cannot speak the Hebrew language. And that's what he means when he's saying, I'm slow of speech and of a slow tongue. And we'll see this play out in the rest of the verses. And so, verse 11, and the Lord said unto him, who hath made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb, or deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have not I the Lord? Now the Lord is not saying that he made them dumb and deaf and blind. He's saying I made them to be the individuals, and the blindness and dumbness and lameness is a result of sin being in the world, not their personal sins, but the fact that sin is in the world. And this is the beginning of sorrows, when the things that bring harm to us or make us weep and cry does not come from God. He allows it, but those are works of the devil. And in James, I think the first chapter, I may be wrong on that, but it says all good and perfect gifts comes from above, from the Father of lights, in whom is no variableness nor shadow of turning. So if it's good, it came from God. If it's not good, it came from the devil, but God will let him go as far as he can, but he'll stop him, because there's no temptation that's taken us but that which is coming to man. But God is faithful, who will not allow us to be tempted above that we are able, but will with the temptation also make a way of escape that we may bear it. So God is not saying that he make people blind or dumb or deaf. And so verse 12 says, after the Lord said that to him, the Lord says to Moses, now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say. And then Moses responds in verse 13, And he said, O my Lord, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him whom thou wilt send. Send, S-E-N-D. And what Moses is saying here is that, Lord, send Jesus, because you're going to send him. So don't send me, send him. Verse 14. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses. And he said, Is not Aaron the Levite thy brother? I know that he can speak well. And also, behold, he cometh forth to meet thee. And when he seeth thee, he will be glad in his heart. And so he's going to be your interpreter to the people, because I know Aaron can speak well, or in the Hebrew language. Verse 15, and you shall speak unto him and put words in his mouth, and I will be with thy mouth and with his mouth, and will teach you what ye shall do. Verse 16, and he, Aaron, shall be thy spokesman unto the people. He's not saying go to Pharaoh at this moment. Moses is saying the people will not hear me or believe me. So God says to him, and he shall be thy spokesman unto the people, and he shall be, even he shall be to thee instead of a mouth. He will speak to the people, and thou shalt be to him instead of God. You speak my words to him, and he will speak my words to God. Verse 7, to the people. Verse 17, and thou shalt take this rod in thine hand, wherewith thou shalt do signs. Verse 18, and Moses went and returned to Jethro his father-in-law, and said unto him, let me go, I pray thee. So he's finally convinced, and return unto my brethren which are in Egypt, and see whether they be yet alive. And Jethro said to Moses, go in peace. Verse 19, and the Lord said unto Moses in Midian, that's where he married his wife, and Midian is the homeland of Jethro, but they are called Kenites because the land they occupy is Midian, but they come from a race of people called the Kenites. And so the Lord said unto Moses in Midian, go, return into Egypt, for all the men are dead which sought thy life, the ones who wanted to kill you. Verse 20, and Moses took his wife and his sons and set them upon an ass, and he returned to the land of Egypt. And Moses took the rod of God in his hand. Now, verse 21, and the Lord said unto Moses, when thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all these wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thine hand. But I will harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go. So I'm telling you up front that Pharaoh does not know me, and he will not let the people go. The more he hear my name, the name of God, the living God, his heart rebels or rejects that. And every time he rejects, his heart gets harder and harder. It's not that God made his heart hard, but that his heart gets hard because he don't want to hear anything about God. And so God is letting Moses know that he's going to have to deal with Pharaoh through the plagues. Verse 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord. When he hear that, his heart is irritated and vexed. Israel is my son, even my firstborn. And I say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn. Now that will be the 10th plague that comes upon Egypt. Verse 24. And it came to pass by the way in the end that the Lord met him and sought to kill him. Not Moses. The next verse will explain who God is saying he will kill. Verse 25. Then Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at Moses' feet and said, surely a bloody husband art thou to me. So God, let him go. Then she said, a bloody husband thou art because of the circumcision. You had not circumcised our son, and God would kill him if he's not circumcised. So she took it upon herself to circumcise her son. And we'll see later that at some point Moses sent her back to Jethro, her father. And when Jethro came to see Moses, he brought Zipporah with him. And it says, Moses and Jethro hugged each other, but it says nothing about Zipporah being hugged by Moses. So because of the circumcision, and Zipporah's name means flighty, she has a flighty character. Verse 27. And the Lord said to Aaron, go into the wilderness to meet Moses. And he went and met him in the mount of God and kissed him. So God had told Moses that Aaron, with his heart, would be made glad when they see each other, because Aaron is Moses' brother. Aaron is 3 years older than Moses. And so they kiss each other. Verse 28. And Moses told Aaron all the words of the Lord who had sent him, and all the signs which he had commanded him. Verse 29. And Moses and Aaron went and gathered together all the elders of the children of Israel. Verse 30. And Aaron spake all the words, interpreted all the words which the Lord had spoken unto Moses, and did the signs in the sight of the people. Verse 31. And the people believed, and when they heard that the Lord had visited them, and the people believed, and when they heard that the Lord had visited the children of Israel, and that he had looked upon their affliction, then they bowed their heads and worshiped. And so we see that Moses is now ready to be the spokesman to Aaron, and God will interpret. Moses will speak to Aaron, and God will interpret to the people that I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. So we'll continue next time. You all have a great day.